Here, ladies and gentlemen, we have another one of those purchases that should never have been made and was only made for the purposes of making this video that you are watching right now. You can probably tell already that this is one of those cheap 2000s PC cases. Certainly even cheap now. But this, again, was not something that should have been something that followed me home. On the surface, I actually do kind of quite like the case design. I think it's unique and interesting. There's no front panel audio, and it looks like one of the USB ports is broken. So I'll have to do something about that. But on the surface, it doesn't look like much, but anybody who has ever used these knows that this is cheap crap. And that all of these funky cases were all based around the same basic platform, which is to say, tin foil. Yeah. I've seen worse, but this is not that good. So, you can see there's no power supply. There is a motherboard, which is the only reason why I bought it. I wouldn't have bought it if it was just the case. That's a pretty typical layout. You can see there's serial port, and I guess those are the blanks that it came with. If we pop the side cover, which is already kind of off anyway, you can see that, well, there's a receipt. But I've got the cables. I have the drive cables. And a heatsink. But I don't have much else. There's no CPU. There's no RAM, which is DDR, which actually kind of surprises me. And I'm actually kind of wondering if this is the same board that would have been in the family computer from back in the day. I think it might be. It's pretty similar anyway. I don't have a model number on it. Let me see if I can find one. K7S41GX. I think it is. So, really this isn't of a whole lot of use to me. I'm not sure what this goes to. Oh, it's the CD audio, which looks like the header is just pulled right off the board, which is extremely convenient. So I'll have to put that back. But, I want to know if it actually works at all. So, what I am going to do is I'm going to put a power supply and a CPU on that. I'm not going to worry about pasting it because, I mean, what's the point? It's just a quick test. It should be fine anyway. And I want to see if any of this actually works. I mean, you can see, obviously, this is definitely one of those cheap cases. They give you about 1,000 drive bays, but that's the only redeeming feature that it really has. So, I'm going to go ahead and source a CPU and the power supply for this. And I'll probably fix that CD audio header, and then I will be back. But you won't have to wait, thanks to the magic of video editing. Alright, I found a 512 meg memory module sitting around. It's the only DDR one I could find, so hopefully it'll work. I also have this chip here. It's a little Duron. It's a 1.3 gigahertz Duron. But you know, honestly, I don't have a whole lot of experience with the Duron. I've never really seen very many of them in person. Same thing with the Sempron, really out in the wild. I know I've got a couple of them now, but seems most people that went with cheap CPUs went with the Celeron. And to be honest, at the cheap price point, I'm not really sure AMD was the better option at the time. it might have been the Intel Celerons, but again, I can't really make an educated judgment because I've never really used them. So I'm going to put the heatsink on that, get the power supply in, and then we'll fire it up, see if it works. I've got the drives cabled up now, or at least the drive, there's only one. Okay, got a power supply installed. Let's see what goes bang. Nothing yet. Oh, I just heard something click. Concerns me a little bit. Hope that it wasn't something blowing up. Well, it's about to blow up. It's not doing anything. So, we'll take some more investigation. Okay, so as it turns out, the drive in here, or the board in here really does not work. So, doesn't do anything. I don't get beeps out of it. So, there's a serious problem somewhere. You can kind of see the lights on this case. Get an idea for what it looks like. Those are the hard drive LEDs. So, we're gonna get it. Really beat up Sprint case. I have two of these. This is the beat up one. I'm gonna pull everything out of this, including that power supply. This is actually that Legend QDI board. And we're going to use this instead. And then I'm going to probably just recycle this case because it's not really worth anything. So, this over here has a DVD drive in it right now. But I'm going to pull that out. Okay, got the new board in the case. The old one is out. I'll have to rescue that CPU off of it, but other than that, we should be good to go to remove that optical drive and then put the remaining components from this in there. Again, I haven't really decided which optical drive I'm going to keep. It's probably going to be this one. Okay, there it is in place. All the boards, etc., etc. The drives. So now I just got to junk this up with a power supply. And then we can retest it and make sure that it works, which it might not, because it's done some hard hours in the pool shed. Okay, let's give it a test. Last time I powered this on, the power supply had a capacitor go poof. Let's see what it does this time. If it actually works. Beeping. That's a memory fault. I can figure that out. Okay, I did get it to work with a single 256 megabyte module. I also replaced the CMOS battery because it was dead, as you saw there. So now I gotta set this up to my liking. And then come back. I don't remember if I loaded an operating system on this or not. Should be good. Speed easy. Intel Celeron 343 megahertz. I don't know if that's actually accurate or not. I don't know what speed it's supposed to be. So, we'll just pretend that that's what it should be. Alright. Looks like there is no operating system loaded on this. So at some point, I'll have to go ahead and load an OS on it. But for now, that's pretty much it. We're good to go. It's in this case, which is, even though it's still pretty cheap, it's in better condition than the existing one. So, with that, I'm going to thank you for watching, and if you've got any comments, feel free to leave them down below. Somebody probably point out the fact that those lights are still on. I can't use the power LED connection on the board for, I don't remember why, but there was a reason for it. So I got it plugged into what's labeled as green LED. So for whatever reason, they stay on when the system's powered down.